Okay, they're always going to ask you a question about the difference between longitudinal and transverse waves, or they're going to ask you the difference between various transverse waves. In this case, it's the difference between radio and gamma rays. So let's get stuck in. Radio waves and gamma rays are both transfer energy. Give 3 other similarities between radio waves and gamma. Now, if it says other, don't say the one they've already given you, because students sometimes make that mistake. So they've already told you it transfers energy. But you can have any of these other ones as other similarities. They travel at the same speed or the same speed as light. So the travel at the speed of light is fine. They can travel through a vacuum. They are all transverse and they're all electromagnetic waves. So any of those would be fine. Okay, 6.2 says this: both radio waves and gamma rays are used in medicine. Give 1 medical use of gamma rays, and I want you to say imaging or treatment. Okay, now if you look over here at the mark scheme, there's some other examples. You can give specific medical imaging answers, so PET scan, tracer, gamma camera, but you can't say ultrasound, CT scan, x-rays, MRI, because they don't use gamma. Okay, or you could use treatments, so imaging or treatments. So treatments could include radiotherapy, brachytherapy, gamma knife. So we've not talked about brachytherapy, but we have talked about radiotherapy and gamma knives. You can't use chemotherapy because chemo is chemicals. Okay, you could have said sterilizing medical equipment as well, but just imaging or treatment would have got you the marks. But there's some other examples in the mark scheme for you to have a look at. 6.3 says, explain why exposure to gamma rays can be harmful, but exposure to radio waves is not harmful. Again, this question comes up pretty much every single year. And what they're looking for you is for you to say ionizing. Okay, gamma rays are ionizing, but radio waves are not. So we've made the comparison. So these comparison questions require comparative answers. You must say this is that one isn't, this is that, this one isn't. Okay, so gamma rays are ionizing, but radio waves are not. So what? Because it's 2 marks. Gamma, therefore, can cause mutations in genes or DNA. So many students get muddled up with what words to say. Learn the correct words. Mutations is good in genes and DNA. Or you can just say increased risk of cancers. And if you look over at the mark scheme over here, you've got those things. I'll even allow can cause cancer and kills cells or damages cells. Kill cells is always acceptable as an answer. Okay, it comes up every year. It's always on the mark scheme. We always accept it as examiners. Some medical scanners produce radio waves at a specific frequency. Explain how radio waves are produced. Now, you need to learn this process. Basically, oscillations are caused in electrical circuits. That sets up an alternating current, and that produces radio waves with the same frequency. Okay, because it says how are radio waves produced at a specific frequency? Well, they get the frequency from the incoming wave. So over on the mark scheme, you can see what it says over here: produced by oscillations in electrical circuits, the radio waves have the same frequency as oscillations. And this is important as a marker. I can't give you marking point 2 if you haven't got marking point 1. So if you haven't said that bit, that's the most important bit, then you can't get marking point 2. So be careful, get your answers, or get the main answer right, and then you can get the second bit. That's often the case. So learn that process of how radio waves are produced. That's it basically for that one.